Doing that right now. And I just this motherfucker. Yo, fuck these niggas. Right. These don't believe in us niggas. Yeah. Listen, yeah. Peace. Good evening. I'd like to welcome you back to another edition of the Foul Playland. As always, I am Sir Foul Player of Brooklyn. Thanks for coming on once again. I haven't been on in a minute, even though I made a commitment to come on more frequently, but the speed of life comes at you at a high rate. A lot of shit went down in these past couple months in the regular world, but more importantly, for me at least, in my life. And I just really haven't had to get up to come back onto YouTube like that, like I wanted to at least. But never fret. I'm here now. I mean, I've been wanting to come back. I mean, there's so many things that I could have talked about in this past time. War popping off for real again. What else? Some dude from the Senate a couple days ago, his a senator's assistant got caught getting nailed in the conference room of the Senate, the hallowed halls of the Senate, if you will, like they like to say about the Congress, in reference to anything to do with January 6th. Congress, or the halls of Congress, were hollowed when a couple of rednecks had a little morning riot, but getting nailed within the confines of the other branch of the government in the Senate. That's love. That's okay. I'm being facetious, sarcastic, whatever. But nevertheless, I'm here now. I am gonna start coming back in more original. I mean, more frequently to do these World on Fire reports, if you will. How the fuck that turn on my camera? Oh, there we go. Yeah, to give more of these more World on Fire reports, if you will, that are gonna be coming out hot and heavy come 2024. 2024 is gonna be bananas. I mean, I'm not sure what you guys think as far as how your year went. Hopefully, I can come back in and pop up on YouTube one more time before the year's through. But damn, my hair's looking messed up. Fuck. That's when you give yourself your haircuts, like I do. Damn. I meant to do this shit before I even started this stupid thing, but here I am now. But I want to come on here more frequently, like because the world's gone nuts. I mean, like the reason I came back onto YouTube and like made my channel more of a political channel more than sports or boxing was because I do keep in tune with the political world. Yeah, but I don't keep in tune with the political world when it's scenic. Like if somebody I like is doing well, I don't tune into politics then. I mean, or if somebody that I don't like is doing terribly, I don't tune into politics then. Like, I mean, there's a lot of people who were semi political channels when Trump was in office that kind of like deaded political talk because it's not easy no more. Like, I mean, if you were throwing like all these shots in Trump's direction in 2019, 2020, and you don't got shit to say about Biden now, with the exception of, oh yeah, well he like the obvious things that are thrown right in your face, then I see why you don't want to come out here and talk politics with any in any substantial way. Like, I get it. Like, a lot of people are stuck on surface level, and I'm not dissing nobody. I mean, like, hopefully I could enlighten one person like as to what's up, especially when it comes to people that look like me and my family, quote unquote minorities. And that's why I came on today. I mean, wanted to talk about Trump, the rumors that Trump may be doing a rally within the South Bronx, which is epic. I mean, not only, and I mean, like, this is coming on the heels of like Trump sharing some interviews that took place in the Bronx, and this is like in the Fordham area. Fordham area in the Bronx, I want to compare it to something. I would say it's like a Times Square of the Bronx before, like when, because Bronx didn't have shit going on up until recently. Like they weren't like real estate in New York is like crazy everywhere, but like the Bronx, like all right, like New York went through like a cleanup phase. I would say like in 20, probably like mid 2000s, let's say. Some people say that was the some people say even late 90s, like when they started cleaning up Times Square. But when they started going to the outer boroughs, I'm gonna say like mid 2000s, like when Brooklyn started getting real yuppified, and even then that didn't really hit the Bronx at that point. The Bronx started getting sort of yupped, moving in that direction. Like I would say like in the latter half of the 2010, I mean in the later half, close to the end of the 2010s. So Fordham was probably the Times Square of the Bronx outside of like Yankee Stadium, but they ain't shit around Yankee Stadium. Everything around Yankee Stadium is like the hood. Everything around Fordham is the hood too. But Fordham is like the big shopping area, like for the Bronx. As far as brick and mortar stores, like not chain stores. You won't see a Target in Fordham. You'll see fucking Jimmy Jazz, which is like some, I don't know if they have that elsewhere. It's like the hood fashion store. You'll see now you don't see Mini Max in Fordham. I mean, these aren't stores that you would know if you lived elsewhere anyway. Like Mini Max or D&D, those are cheap stores. That's like CH Martin somewhere else, if they have that anywhere else either. But so the area, Fordham Road, it's a busy area. So like you won't have, but it's not like a rich area. You don't see yuppies in Fordham Road, if you will. Like and really nowhere in the Bronx. So 2 weeks ago, a news agency by the name of Newsmax, which is not that much better than NBC or Fox. They're both bland crap. Fox is not a conservative network. Don't let them fool you. And ABC is just basically the same as NBC and all these other networks. They just pretty much cram what the powers that be want you to know, in a sense. But Fox is basically not conservatives. More Fox is saying like about the ideas that maybe NBC and ABC would espouse and try to promote. Fox would be like, oh, well, that's too far. Like, but they won't say, no, that's outright wrong. Like Fox is not conservative, is what I'm trying to say. But Newsmax is like a little bit more, is like a YouTube Fox, basically. A little bit more conservative than what Fox would be, but they're not much better. Like they push like Ron DeSantis rather than Trump. Like they I don't know. It's just not like nothing conservative is much better than liberal networks, if you will. Anyhow, the network called Newsmax, which is again a conservative network in a sense, went to Fordham Road, this area in the Bronx, which doesn't have a yuppie presence. I mean, like, you know, if I would go to do my own video in Fordham Road, like, you know, I got to guard my grill a little bit. Like if some, you know, because people could play themselves, you know, it's not like going to some yuppie suburban area, if you will. So Fordham is pretty hood. It's pretty ghetto neighborhood, ghetto area. The Bronx is, if you've been living under a rock, the Bronx doesn't have many yuppie areas besides like North Bronx, and that's not yuppie. That's more like Italians. So this Newsmax agency went to the Bronx and they were asking people whether they were supportive of Trump or Biden. By and large, much of what you got in that interview, all of what you got in that interview was people showering praises on Trump and saying that they wanted Trump back. And I think that's the general consensus, besides like regular popular media, besides like the person that that's thinks that Trump's a piece of shit, no matter how you put it, or Mr. T is a piece of shit. I gotta guard my this stream too. I can't say 45's name too loud here. But besides like the people that no matter what Mr. T does, like they're not gonna change their mind on him, regardless of how bad Biden does. They just don't like Mr. T. Like, so you're not gonna change that person, really. But in the hood, like in my hood, I mean, my brother was like he's not the smartest person in the world either. But he's my older brother too. But he was, out of all my brothers, like, I mean, I got on all my brothers' heads before the voting took place. Not that they were gonna vote, like just letting them know, like, because it was very rare for somebody who was out in the open supporting Trump amongst hood dudes. And my brothers are hood dudes. Like, none of them really vote like that, but except for the one that did vote. I mean, he voted for Biden. His wife voted for Biden, and he hated Trump. But again, not the smartest person. Was mostly running on emotion, probably. And we just had this conversation a couple days ago that he's like, I'm not voting for Biden, no way. And it's because he's feeling like a lot of the people that are from my neighborhood are feeling. Same way a lot of the people that are from New York are feeling. And these are immigrants that are in New York that don't want more immigrants in New York. These are Latin people like myself that don't want more immigrants in New York. These are black dudes like my family members that don't want immigrants in New York. So if you talk to the guy in your regular life that no matter what, he can't stand Trump and he not going to vote for Trump no matter what Biden does bad or Trump does good. When you talk to that person and you mention an immigrant problem, they won't, like, they're just thinking that you're looking at it from a racial perspective or racism perspective. So they can't, no matter how bad that problem could potentially get, most times, one, it's not happening in somebody else's backyard. Like, unless you live in New York City, you're not really going through a crazy immigration problem. Because let's face it, like, officially the numbers of immigrants in New York right now are 150,000 supposedly that New York got just from the border crisis that's happening, fake border crisis that's happening in the last 2 years. So in that short amount of time, we've supposedly added 150,000 more immigrants into New York City. I don't believe that number. I think it's a lot higher. And if we do a video in my neighborhood, which I plan on doing, I'll show you guys evidence of the fact. I'll even walk you by my old street. You guys have seen my old street. If you look at some of my old videos, I probably did a video there not even a year ago. If I go now, you'll see how much more packed it is from whenever I shot. But I mean, I'd probably be better if I showed you from a busy area. But having said that, most people that are from the hood in New York have been suffering through it since Mr. T left office. Left office. Let's face it. I mean, and I'm gonna tell you, like 70% of those people in New York that are going through it right now, that realize that it was way better for them that when Mr. T was in office, are gonna swing around to vote for Mr. T if it comes down to Biden and Mr. T straight up in 2024. They're gonna be voting Mr. T all the way, no doubt about it. Like, I mean, like, my neighborhood, it's we've always had a lot of migrants or immigrants, even before 2020. Most of those dudes that are here illegally don't want these dudes that are coming in 2020 to be here neither. So it's not like I gotta find an extreme case of a lily white Spanish guy who happens to like Mr. T, and he's a closet like racist. No, I'll go to Harlem right now, and it'll be probably 60-40, like people that are probably endorsing Trump rather than Biden. You'll find you're not gonna find more than 20% of the people in Harlem, in Flatbush, Bed-Stuy, any neighborhood, that's not similar to mine. Because my neighborhood, even though we do have a lot of black cats in my neighborhood is more Latin. But some non-astute observer or some person who's probably bigoted in their own thinking, but will tell you, oh, well, people in your neighborhood are probably swinging more for Trump because your neighborhood might be more like you, Latin. Well, that's stupidity. No, every neighborhood there's no black neighborhoods in New York like that. Just like there's not very many Spanish neighborhoods in New York like that. Besides like Washington Heights, like very obvious ones. And you go to Washington Heights and you're gonna see more support for Trump. In fact, a couple of nights before election night on October 30th October 29th of 2020, a couple months before the election took place, or a couple weeks days before the election took place, I actually have a video in my YouTube that I recorded myself in Washington Heights, the hood. If I remember correctly, it was on 178th in Amsterdam, where the dope boys on whatever avenue it was and whatever street it was had the Trump flag posted up. Mind you, this is 2020. Some of them had the Trump gear on. Some of the people that I saw in Washington Heights and Harlem that day had Trump gear on right before the election. You know what I'm saying? So imagine what that support is going to look like in 2023. 2023, everybody and their mother feels broke. 2023, where, I mean, like, you go to Facebook Marketplace right now, you're going to find deals like you'll never find. And that's people selling their really important stuff, valuable stuff, right before the holidays for Christmas. I mean, I was going to say maybe you could find your partner a gift on Facebook Marketplace, but that's kind of grimy. Don't do that. But having said that, you're not going to hear it from the media. I mean, the media is running around with the fact that Trump is being taken off the ballot in Colorado because of insurrections and possibly racisms. The media is running around telling you today that California is considering taking Mr. T off the ballot because of insurrection and because of convictionisms. But the media don't know what the hell they're talking about. The media has been wrong so many times in recent history, and you're going to go on believing them? Nah, go out to the Bronx and, talk to a few of your local hood boogers and goons that are running out there, and they're going to tell you that nobody's riding with Biden. Nobody. And I hope that we could circle back to a more important conversation. I mean, which is, how the hell did Biden get so much support going into this last election? I mean, in the sense of having the most votes of all time, that kind of person would be a celebrity, going into 2024. I mean, you can't find somebody more unpopular than Biden in America right now. It's probably one of the most disliked peoples in recent history. And mind you, the media has played softball with Joe Biden for years now. I mean, they don't give Joe Biden any sort of real investigative reporting that goes in his direction. I mean, otherwise they would have found a ton of things that are just starting to come out now in regards to his son. The media would have found that stuff in 2020, 2019, 2021, 2022. They're still dragging their feet and not choosing to report these things. The media would tell you how unpopular Joe Biden is and how expensive things have really gotten. Shit, this Christmas has destroyed me. I'm not broke like that, and I don't buy nobody any expensive gifts, but except my son. But nevertheless, Christmas for a lot of people right now is very tough, very, very, very tough. And I also know too because I'm part of groups on Facebook, like specifically for buying and selling particular things. Like there's a couple things that I'm like are my hobby, if you will. But you're seeing clearance type deals right now, not from those stores. These are from individuals that need money. So everybody's doing bad because of Joe Biden in one way or another. I mean, like they're gonna tell you that your gas is more expensive because of Putin. I mean, I wouldn't agree with that. I think that as the commander in chief of this great country, you have a lot of clout. You tell a country not to jump, and they ain't gonna jump. You know, but I think Russia was very reticent to move on Eastern Ukraine when Trump was in office. Whether you think that they should have moved on Eastern Ukraine or not, I mean, that's a debate on its own. But they definitely weren't making a move while Trump was in office, and it seemed like they made a move right after. I mean, so whose fault is that? I mean, if you got a security guard in the front of your building and somebody robs your building, does the security guard get some of the blame? Of course they do. Can't blame the building. So I mean, if the prices of gas are expensive, it has to do at least in part with Biden, because I remember the glass going up just a tiny bit when Trump was in office and the media went haywire over it. I remember when Trump wanted to top off the strategic petroleum reserves, the SPR, which is basically the gas and the petroleum that we have reserved in the event of a national emergency, like a war, which, I mean, we're at the verge of potentially getting into wars all over the place. That strategic petroleum reserve was proposed to be topped off by Trump, I believe, when gas was at $22 a barrel, and like the media went haywire over it. Now, I mean, that strategic petroleum reserve is damn near empty. God knows how it got empty. And rumor has it that it was sold to energy companies in places like China. But now nobody's reporting that. I mean, Trump was proposing filling the strategic petroleum reserves. That was a big story. The strategic petroleum reserves have gone to nearly empty levels under Biden, not reported at all. So, I mean, like, in spite of all that, like, the media is going to try to play you and make it seem like there's nothing happening in the world of Joe Biden negative. That's a whole lot of shit. And you guys feel it. I mean, like, if these people in the Bronx were feeling it, then you guys feel it. The people in the Bronx were a little bit late to the party. And that's always the case with the Bronx. I mean, not the smartest borough, if you will. I thank God that I wasn't born in the Bronx. But let me put these video clips on. I want to show you guys the video of Newsmax when this young lady went to interview people in the Fordham Road area. If anybody wants to come in and debate any of my points or disagree or agree, you're more than welcome to too. But let me pull up this. Oh, here we go. Okay. So I think I got it now. Yeah, I do. Again, this is from Newsmax, semi-conservative network. I think this chick that did the interview is from the Bronx, but I'll let her take it away. You guys, I messed up. I'm sorry. Pardon self. I played the wrong clip. I mean, I played the wrong clip and nothing was playing. That's why I walked away from the TV. But let me start the clip now. Guys, I had to forgive me, but here we go.
Is the bluest of New York City's boroughs and the only borough with a Hispanic majority. President Biden got 83% of the vote here in 2020. But now the Biden campaign is seeing polls coming out saying President Trump is gaining traction with voters of color, even younger voters. So I came to the Bronx to put a face on the numbers, and I was shocked by what I heard on the streets. Do you think that President Biden is doing a good job with the economy?
No, he's not doing nothing to support nobody.
Is he doing a good job? Yes or no?
No. I can see we're all going to be the streets homeless.
Biden and his press secretary said that prices are going down. Is that your experience or is that not true?
No, that is definitely not true. Prices are definitely going up. I used to go across the street to Fordham to go get me a meal. I can't even get me a meal because that meant $20.
Minority communities, we're not seeing the improvement. There's inflation with everything: food, gas, insurance prices. I mean, you name it.
Bidenomics is not.
You know, and before I continue, the you know, again, this area of Fordham is Latin / Black, which in New York. Because some asshole is gonna come behind me. Well, they won't say it in the comment. I mean, or some asshole may think to himself that, you know, that's these Latin cats that don't like you know, they don't like Biden because they don't like black people. Like if Biden's black or some shit. Nah, like New York is not built like that. New York, everybody, like the people like that I grew up with, straight up Black, Latin, like people don't look at they ain't. It's not on like that. Like in other places. Even Chicago is more separated than like a New York would be. A lot of these people, if you look at them, they straight up look like a mix of Spanish, Black, and that's because of the intermingling that happens in New York. But you're not gonna find a Black hood in New York like that. Like you won't find many Spanish hoods in New York like that. You know, like everybody in New York's the same shit, basically. Minorities. Cops hate all of us. But let me continue.
Not working. It's just a complete mess. It's a disaster. Especially here in New York City, we're feeling it very hard.
If you could say anything to Biden right now, who says that the economy is improving, especially in Black and brown communities, what would you say to him?
That's lies. I believe that's lies. Heavy lies.
Now, you know, in regards to any of these points too, I mean, like, you know, there's some people that I listen to that do sports in addition to a little bit of political talk. And somebody recently said that I rock with, not me, that they rock with Biden's policies. If I would have pressed that person to name a policy of Biden's that he would have liked for $1,000, that person would have not been able to name one policy. You know, or that person would have been giving him credit for something that has zero to do with Biden. But a lot of people, like the media right now, is making it seem like inflation. More importantly, the price of goods isn't rising for people, which it is. I mean, like if you go to any supermarket, what used to be a deal that was like what used to be a regular price or a little bit above regular price a year ago is now the clearance price this year. Everything's more expensive. You won't get a deal anywhere you go. I'm pretty sure your Christmas shit, none of your shit was less expensive this year than it was in years past. And that's all due to Bidenomics.
On that, for sure.
Do you think that somebody else besides Biden should be president?
Yes,
Next
of
time.
course, of
Who?
course. Bring back Trump.
Tell
Bring
me
back
why.
Trump.
We had money. We had money when Trump was president.
Free my son Trump. Free my son Trump. Trump 2024, everybody. Trump 2023.
That's crazy. And we're here in the Bronx.
I'm gonna vote for Trump if he runs because I feel like it was much better when he was here financially for everybody, not just me, for everybody.
I'm definitely voting for Donald Trump. He made sure we had money in our pockets. He was for the people. He made sure we had what we needed. I feel like everything will go back to how it was. I mean, ever since he's been out of office, everything's declined.
When Trump was president, my life was good. Economical wise, I was doing so much better.
They're saying it's going to be Biden.
Yeah, people Shorty just said too. I mean, like, and I know a lot of people, a ton of you feel the same way because I've heard a ton of people say the same thing, that their life was markedly better a couple of years ago. Everybody was making money a couple of years ago, whether it was crypto, whether it was with investing in real estate, which was a possibility 3 years ago. Now, I mean, like the rates are like to buy a new house, a bank ain't going to give you a loan right now. Like you crazy. But people, and you know, I knew a few people. I know somebody specifically, one individual that his money is basically buying and flipping, where he basically he runs everything basically. He's a contractor and a lot of the financing he'll get on his own. This man hated Trump too, from what I remember. And he was pulling flips that he was financing and conducting on his own. I think he was telling me he at his peak time, he was doing 8 or 9 per year. All here in the New Jersey area, you know, probably clearing $100,000 every time. This dude tell me he only was able to pop one off in the last 2 years once. You know, catch and flip, or buying a house, flipping it, buying a house, flipping it. Nobody's moving money right now like that. Period. I mean, the prices of houses are going up, but that's not the sign of a good economy. And everybody who got interviewed in this interview here in Fordham in the Bronx don't own no fucking houses. Not one of these people owns a house. Guarantee you that. Because I mean, the houses even in this area in the Bronx, you know, you're talking about $1 million. You know, these are people that are stuck renting, and rent is going up in New York, even in the Bronx. Probably talking $2,500 a month, easy, for a 1 or 2 bedroom house in the hood. Nothing's getting better. And again, if you don't agree with me, listen, I'll do my challenge like this, because I have a lot of people that are afraid to comment on my regular videos because of my problems with the online boxing cult, but in the past. But if you leave a comment and you point out a policy that improved your life under the Biden regime, especially if it improved your life dramatically, or better yet, especially if it was something that was promised pre-campaign that was given to you post supposed victory, name one policy that has been thrown in your direction that improved your life so much. I mean, like, and I'll give you, I'll do you one better. I'll give you 20 ounces of pure silver. Look, it's from the table. And if you guys aren't invested in silver, please make sure you invest in God's money, silver and gold. Look, there's 20 ounces right there. I'll show you one. These are Austrian Philharmonics. You see? Can't see that shit really well. See, it has the violins and stuff in the front, and it has some Austrian kraut building in the back. Anyhow, 20 of them. Retail value, probably $500 at this. No, a little bit more over $500 retail. This will all be yours. If you could leave a comment, in the chat, or if you could leave a comment after the fact of all the improvements that your life have that have been afforded to your life personally under the Biden presidency. Show me these policies. 20 ounces of silver.
Trump, so who will you vote for?
Oh, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna have to go for Trump. Sorry.
I'm gonna go for Trump.
So much better.
They're saying it's going to be Biden Trump, so who will you vote for?
Oh, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna have to go for Trump. Sorry.
I'm gonna go for Trump. Trump. Always Trump.
Here, let me see. Who are you voting for?
Trump.
Feeling the pain of price hikes is one thing, but the show of open support for former President Donald J. Trump on the streets of the Bronx was very surprising. And it's the sort of thing that has Biden campaign strategists looking very carefully at the messaging around Bidenomics as we get closer to 2024. Reporting for Newsmax from the streets of the Bronx, New York.
Yeah, so I hope you guys found that informative. I'm going to get to the crux of this story, though, as to why this is important, though, because Trump actually shared the very video I just showed you of that young lady on Newsmax doing that reporting, showing the endorsements that Trump was receiving deep in the hood, deep in the heart of the hood. Trump actually shared that video on his own account. And there's rumors now, I'm not sure how true that would be or how true they are, that Trump is considering doing a rally in the South Bronx. Personally, I know that Trump gets a lot of love in the hood. If he's getting love in New York in the hood, then he's getting love everywhere in the hood. I'm trying to think if I've been to other hoods recently, like where I could testify to that effect, but not really now. Outside of like Newark and Newark, Trump got a lot of love in Newark too. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Trump's wave is starting to crest, if you will, or beginning to crest in the hood. And I mean, like, you know, you saved the hood for last, I guess. Like, I mean, and we got it later than anybody, but better late than never. I think we're gonna do good things as a country. Like once we get back to a simple agenda of making America great again. Period. I mean, you don't gotta get hyperbolic about that phrase. It might mean different shit to different people, but you live on this patch of land here in America, and you should only want it to be great. I mean, unless it's getting great where it's taking something away from you personally, then don't be a nimbus. Come, thumbs. My cats, all the cats in my house are sick. But the one that just ran by me, thumbs, he's like sneezing a lot. He's got something stuffed in his nose. In terms of the bad news, though, I mean, like, and why I haven't been coming on, now that I'm talking about animals, I mean, if you guys have seen my past streams, you guys knew my puppy dog was always with me. But the last time I was coming onto YouTube regularly, he was sick. He was always sick. But maybe a couple days after I made my last video, yeah, it was maybe a couple days after I made my last video, my dog unexpectedly fucking died. That shit took a lot of life out of me. One of the main, I mean, it's the singular reason as to why I haven't been coming onto YouTube. In addition to having a really bad time of it around that time, sometimes I think that he sort of was feeling that I was going through some other shit that I was going through personally at that time, and I think maybe that him feeling like fucked up like took him out. So I mean, there's a little bit of guilt in that, in a sense, but I mean, more of it is like just fucking heartbroken outright. I mean, I think of my dog all the time, and he was a baby on top of that. So I mean, I don't know. It was really tough. But now I have the some of my other cats with a cold, so I'm like up on edge, if you will. Come, Thumbs. Let me see if I show you my cat, Thumbs. Thumbs, come. Thumbs. Asshole. Normally he'll come anytime, and now I'm wanting to come. He didn't come. But let me show you another video. Or let me show you guys another video regarding the same topic at hand. And this is from that same Newsmax agency. I guess they did a follow-up video because Trump did share that first video regarding his support in the Bronx. And again, there was the rumors that he was considering doing a rally in the Bronx. So this shorty from Newsmax followed up with a second interview to see how people felt. Now, this is a different part of the Bronx. If I had to guess where this is at, I'm gonna say like Valentine area. Like, I forgot the name of the area though, but I know which area this is. But again, I'm not familiar OD with the Bronx, but I get around in the Bronx. I got family in the Bronx. I got friends in the Bronx. I mean, I don't like hanging out too much in the Bronx because it's treacherous, but I do get around New York. So it's not like I'm some songbird giving this opinion like and I grew up in like Lily White Bay Ridge or some shit, like, and telling you to vote for Trump. Like, nah. I'm more hood than your hoodest motherfucker in most cases. And I'm telling you to vote for your boy. But let me get to this next video. This is title of the video, and thanks to Newsmax for both of these clips. Title of the video is Bronx. The fuck is this thing? Bronx Trump supporter. We're gonna show him a lot of love.
President Trump's re-election strategy is cutting into traditional Democrat strongholds. Shortly after Newsmax found surprising support for the former president in the Bronx, we found out that he was considering doing a rally here. We joined the New York City Young Republican President, Gavin Wax, to find out more.
Listen, Kara, Make America Great Again, it includes the South Bronx, believe it or not. It's for all Americans. I think this is why it's great that President Trump wants to visit the South Bronx for some sort of rally. It shows that he cares. President Trump and I had been speaking recently about, his prospects in New York City. There was a poll that came out that showed him within the single digits. So we talked a bit about that. I mentioned, the interviews you did on the street in the South Bronx, where there was a lot of support for President Trump. People were very excited about him. It was something that people hadn't really seen before. It was something new. It was something novel.
Free my son, Trump. Free my son, Trump.
He went and watched it after our gala. He shared an article commenting on your interviews, and I think it got him very excited. He kind of said, well, let's do a rally in the South Bronx. I said, sure, let's do it.
If President Trump came here to the South Bronx, would you attend the rally?
Of course, I would want to meet Trump. I want to shake his hand. He's the only president that I see that can ever make America great again. He's capable of doing that.
I would love to go to a rally with Donald Trump come, because I'm a big Donald Trump supporter, and I will support him 100%.
Excellent. So I mean, like, and look, you're seeing Black Cat. Like the other interview was a little bit tanged Hispanic. I ain't gonna front. If you want to use that as some cheap argument to get out of a substantive debate, and you want to say that there was more Latin support, this video seemed to be more Black support, more toothless support. Some of them too. That's a Bronx issue. But you got my son here, that regular younger hood cat. You got Mbaswe over here from West African cat. You got this Tracy Morgan looking cat. Well, let me play the video. Let me back it up. So again, it's not like these Latin cats, like, like when it comes time, like Biden ain't repping like no Black shit. Trust me. So stop it with that. But a vote for Biden is not voting on Black, like Biden said. Actually, let me pull that clip up too. like Biden told Charlemagne, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. So no, not all things Biden are intermingled with all things black. They gave you the impression of that in 2020, but that shit ain't gonna fly in 2024 in the polling, in the voting booth. Let me play this
If
again.
President Trump came here to the South Bronx, would you attend the rally?
Of course.
Of course.
Trump. I want to shake his hand.
We
He's
rolling.
the only president that I see that can ever make America great again. He's capable of doing that.
I will make you my wife. Let me.
I would love to go to a rally with Donald Trump come, because I'm a big Donald Trump supporter, and I will support him 100%.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're gonna show him love. We're gonna show him a lot of love, and like they do in other states. We definitely need to see Trump here.
There's nothing but
y'all don't vote, but nevertheless, though, I mean, like, you know, and these are, again, to a lot of people like myself. I mean, like, I don't vote all the time. I may talk politics a lot, but one out of 5 times, I'll be voting. Like, I don't vote that often. These cats right here, look, this dude just did methadone or heroin earlier today. My man ain't gonna vote. He probably won't vote either. These dudes got Fs. Every one of these dudes got felonies. But nevertheless, though, I mean, like, vocal support is better than any support, especially in the hood. I mean, most people in the hood, like, I mean, like, they'll talk things up and they'll talk things down. A lot of times we don't act on things. Like, that goes with voting too. Like, a lot of people may have talked bad about Trump and probably weren't even compelled to physically go vote. But I think now, you know, it's a money aspect. Like, people are broke, legit. Like, the hood is way worse than it was 3 years ago in New York. The hood is way worse anywhere than 3 years ago. In LA, the hood's way worse. New York, the hood's way worse. Chicago, the hood's way worse, and you got immigrants. New York, the hood's way worse, and you got immigrants. Miami, same shit. Like, Florida don't change much. But Texas, every hood, they got an immigrant problem in addition to, like, things getting worse. So there's no coverage in sight. Everybody's feeling the pinch of Biden.
We definitely need to see Trump here.
there's nothing but love for Donald Trump here in the South Bronx, the North Bronx, the East Bronx, and the West Bronx.
So tell me,
We want Trump to come back, please, bro. Biden, get out of here, bro.
I would come to the rally and support Trump, because the Bronx need a change, and we need somebody that's really going to help this community.
I would definitely come to a Trump rally in the South Bronx. I like him.
You do?
Yes.
Yes, I will come to a rally if President Trump was to come to the Bronx, and I also would bring other people to come too and support him.
Would Joe Biden get a warm reception if he came to the Bronx?
No, he wouldn't have. And I'll make sure of that.
Reporting for Newsmax in the South Bronx, New York, I'm Kara Castronova.
Word up. So people are going through it. I mean, but again, you know, that's going to affect the voting. But you also have the the biggest turnout for anybody in any election ever was Joe Biden last year. Now, they're going to make it seem like they got so much support for Biden because Trump was getting ragged on the TV all the time. So that should tell you one or two things. Either A, the TV and the media has too much control over voting, if you will. I mean, straight up. Because if the media has the ability to not give you any positive press, not to say that they should be compelled to give you any positive press. I'm saying more along the lines of, like, if the media act in accord, like you see some of these clips where people, hey, peace, Mr. Michael Johnson, Boxing Talking More. Please subscribe to Michael Johnson, Boxing Talking More as well. But if you see how people make these little collages of the media repeating the same lines over and over and over, that means they get their marching instructions, or possibly could be getting their marching instructions from one source. If that one source is saying, you know, Trump is the bad guy, then the media is going to tell you Trump is a bad guy. If that one source is saying, hey, don't report nothing bad about Biden, unless you really, really, really have to, then the media is going to follow suit. That's my impression. And I think most people got that impression. Who the fuck is honking the horn? Sorry. It's fucking quiet ass neighborhood. And like some assholes like, love, who's honking the horn out there? Sorry. But if the media is acting on one accord, which that could have been debatable in the past, but now you see people making these little collages of the media repeating the same things over and over in the same fashion, reporting it in the same way, same tone, same cadence at times. Some people already feel that. Now, if some people already felt that in 2019 and 2020, they're definitely feeling that now and probably think that, hey, listen, the media is not really telling me the truth regarding certain things that they're telling me to put into my body, regarding them telling me that Trump is this dictator that's bad for everybody. Maybe the media was wrong on that. And that's what you see in the Bronx. I mean, the Bronx is not, these aren't people like, say what you will. I mean, like, you know, like then these aren't like, they're not like, I'll be the first to admit, like, because I was the product of a public school in New York. We're not the smartest tools in the shed at times, like in the hood with scholastic matters, like things that have to do with talking properly, if you will, like English. Like we talk all fucked up in New York. I'll be the first to tell you. I'm a shining example of enunciation and attempting to talk properly, and I sound fucked up. Now imagine like the videos I just showed you, everybody talk like hood booger. But those people probably had zero love for Trump, but are feeling the pinch now, are probably coming to the conclusion, just like a lot of you are, like in 2023 and 2024, that, hey, the media is a bunch of bullshit. The media don't got shit to tell me that's true. And they're going to tell me a bunch of bullshit leading into the 2024 election, just like they told me into the 2020 election. And I believed them the first time. I'm not going to believe them ever again. Now, people are coming to that conclusion now in 2023 and 2024. So whatever magic that Biden, one of the most unpopular people in the country right now, whatever magic that Biden received in 2019 and 2020, when he was considering running against Trump to make him the most popular president in terms of votes received, because I think he got 82 or 84 million votes this last time, which is a third of the country. Which, I mean, I don't see a third of the country voting in any election. Honestly, that's a lot of people. But a third of the country voted for somebody who did no campaigning, somebody who is incoherent in the early 2010s. Biden was incoherent in 2016 when they would, a couple times they would put him to speak. Incoherent, grimy. Somebody who had a history of racism going back to the 70s, 80s, like Biden, the 94 crime bill. Biden actually claimed the 94 crime bill proudly. He said that was his bill. The media would have had a field day with that, saying like, listen, like you came up with this crime bill that got most of the black men in this country who were locked up arrested. You were the one that single-handedly came up for that because your son had a problem with crack, and your son was probably getting high with Marion Barry in DC, and you wanted a little bit of revenge on the community that Marion Barry was from. Who knows? But Biden always had a history of saying things that were quasi-racist, if you will. And he didn't want his kids to go be raised in a racial jungle or go to school within a racial jungle. When he said that his alliance with Biden caused him to go out and take an AIDS test. These are things that if Trump would have uttered half of them, they would have been running with them for a century. Trump threw a roll of paper towels in Puerto Rico, and people said that he was throwing toilet paper out to Puerto Ricans because he thought they were shit. You still have Puerto Ricans that say shit like that, and that's all done by the media. But in spite of all that, you still get a lot of rancor towards Biden in 2023, in spite of the media bending over backwards and trying not to report him in an unfashionable light. And that's because you feel it. That's because you feel it. And again, if anybody feels anything more than anybody, it's people in the hood. People don't know how to really express themselves through diction eloquently, or have a podcast and whatnot that talk about politics. They're the ones feeling it the most. They're the ones that are feeling that their supermarkets are closing up shop due to crime. So now they got to go do groceries at Rite Aid or fucking Walgreens, expensive as shit. They're the ones that are getting their train services impacted in New York City. They're the ones that are seeing bums and immigrants sleeping on the trains when they're trying to go to work in the morning. Now, if you guys don't know about riding public trains, when there's times in the morning when you're waiting on your train, 5, 6 in the morning, and then you see every car that's packed. Like you're like no seat in sight, and then you'll see this one car that's completely empty, and then you go into that car and it smells like fucking open ass and helicopter fuel. And it's because some dude that you didn't see when you were walking into the train is laid out on a bench in the train, claiming the whole cart with his fucking stench. Now, you may have had that here and there in the past. Now you have that dude setting up fucking shop in the train, bro. Get out of here. Like straight up living in it. In addition to fucking drunk migrant dudes that just got here yesterday that are hood as shit too. That's another thing too. And me and my brother were talking about that. Because my neighborhood is getting a lot of immigrants from the migrant thing, and it's probably because of, I don't know why, honestly. I really don't know why. My neighborhood was always like a spillover neighborhood for Chinese immigrants and fucking Latin immigrants ever since the 90s. It wasn't always like that. But Sunset Park, since the 90s, has probably one of the highest Chinese fucking populations in the country. And they probably got one of the highest fucking Mexican populations. Not to say, like, it's not like my neighborhood is all Mexican like that. Like it's pretty much every nationality, but there's no neighborhood in New York City, let's say, that you would consider like sort of Mexican, with the exception of like my neighborhood and another neighborhood in New York. Like we always had a lot of immigrants, but we're starting to get some of these immigrants from Venezuela, and these dudes are like hood as fuck, bro. And I made a comparison, and I'm sorry to make this comparison. It may make me sound racism, but I don't give a shit. But and I'm saying this too because most of my peoples are Dominican. Like the gang that I was part of, like for the most, it was black and Dominican. So sorry, Dominicans, when I say this, but I'm gonna say it. And this is because of a conversation I had when I was in my neighborhood just this past Friday. My neighborhood is pretty much the same as it was 2 years ago, with the exception of like the Venezuelan cats that are coming through, like that just got there with from Texas, from the border, if you will, right? But those now when people say immigrants, people thinking like fucking a bunch of like dudes with ponchos, like fucking with a hat in hand begging for work and shit like that. Hells no. These dudes that have come through, it's like adding another like wave of Dominican cats to my neighborhood. Like the dudes from Argentina particularly is what I mean, in that Dominicans in the sense of like the Dominicans I grew up with. Dominicans I grew up with were fucking hood as shit, violent, fucking they fit right into New York basically. When I was in my neighborhood, when I was a teenager, was the first wave of like Dominicans that came in, and those are like my friends. But they were my friends because they were like once they got into my neighborhood, black cats didn't like them, the Puerto Rican cats didn't like them, so they were like the underdog, and I love underdog. But and plus they were like hood as shit. Dominicans are like hood, like there's no more hood person in New York than Dominicans, and now like Dominicans are more Americanized, and people see how they are. Well, now we got a new wave of like Dominicans, except that the old wave of Dominican cats, in addition to whoever the fuck else showed up in the past like couple decades, didn't leave Sunset Park. It's all fucking crammed. It was all crammed when I would show videos of my neighborhood a couple months ago. Now it's like in my neighborhood alone, there's got to be at least 20,000 more people. At least 10, 20,000 people in my neighborhood alone. Let me read some of the comments. I'm sorry, guys. But that's what I wanted to say, though. So, like what some white liberal from God knows where is probably thinking that these migrants that are coming in are like fucking salt of the earth. Oh, they're gonna be making me salsa at Chipotle. No, motherfucker. Like they're gonna jukes you and rob you. Fucking that's not all immigrants, but the ones that are coming in, they don't seem like they're here to fucking get a job cutting up peppers at fucking Chipotle. Nah, they're here like looking very hungry and looking like if I don't get fed pretty soon, I'm gonna go out and find the meal, if you get my drift. Let me read some of the comments. So sorry for peace to Michael Johnson boxing. So where your Trump hat at? I don't own one. I got a polo hat though, a new one that I bought. Texas sending them there. Yeah, they are. And Texas is wrong for that in the sense that I think that Texas should shut the border, call the National Guard to the border, arrest anybody who's enabling that border crossings, even if it's the Border Patrol in processing. That's what Texas should be doing. This is what I would be doing if I were the governor of Texas. The governor of Texas is a piece of shit. The district attorney of Texas is a little bit more better in my eyes, but the governor of Texas, Abbott, he's trash. He's a rhino. Salute, Valiant Thor. I don't know if I've seen you in the past, but thank you for coming through. I sound sort of familiar. If you sneak into Disneyland, should they let you stay if you get caught? And once you've been caught, should they give you a meal and money and let you ride the rides for free? Absolutely not. I mean, and that's why I think in terms of my politics, why I ride with the wave of MAGA as a tool in a sense. And it's a tool in the sense that one, there's only one guy in charge of MAGA, and that's Trump. Two, if Trump says we're going to go into, Trump's giving me every indication that he's not for immigrants coming into the country. So will Ron DeSantis, if he gets voted in, gonna do dramatic things to curtail our immigrant problem at the border and with the ones that have made it their way into America? Absolutely not. Is Nikki Haley gonna do something dramatic to fix the border in addition to removing some of the people that have made their way in illegally in recent history? Absolutely not. The whole Republican Party isn't going to do it. Not they'll give a somewhat endorsement to that. Trump, on the other hand, has already outwardly put out regarding the border, and the MAGA movement, I think, is one that could be influenced to do what's best for America into the future. The conservative movement, I mean, or the RNC or the Republican, or the Republicans as a whole, as a party, I mean, they ain't going to do shit about this problem. They're just going to say, oh, well, like, that's enough. Like, slow down, guys. Like, don't no more. Like, I don't need somebody to say no more when I'm at a critical mass here. Like, I ain't going to say, like, fucking, let a robber come into my house and have the cops tell me, oh, well, could we put him in the basement? That way you don't see him and just let him stay. Like, that's a Republican move. And I don't think Trump's about to let me keep thieves in the basement. I'm gonna get you a polo Trump hat. That'd be cool. If you got me one, my friend, I'd rather rock it. Abbott is doing nothing, but hey, it is what it is. No, Abbott is doing something. Abbott's basically directing our fucking wave of immigrants. And not saying it as a New York thing, like, or as a New Yorker. Abbott has all the power in the world to put the Texas National Guard on call right now, arrest anybody who's helping this movement of migrants into the country, and posting the Texas National Guard up with all their equipment at the Texas border. Let them go into Arizona and let Katie Hobbs have a deal with an immigrant problem in her borders. You know, let them go to a Democrat state. But Abbott's a big pussy. Close to 1,700 years ago, gods had invaded Roman territory looking for food, shelter, and a better life. Yeah, and like look at the Romans now. This led to the collapse of one of the biggest political and military powers humankind has ever known. And we're taking a very Roman course in our history now in looking for war outwardly. I mean, we're got a hard on to get something going in the Ukrainians, because I can't name that country now, and sponsoring the most corrupt politician in Europe, as per a lot of Western publications prior to 2020. Now Alinsky is the darling of the media because everything has to be done for Ukrainians. Let me see. It's a story shockingly similar to what's happening in the United States right now, and it should serve as a cautionary tale. No, certainly. I mean, I think a lot of people right now are caught up in the emotional aspect of it, in saying that, were caught up in the emotional aspect of it and now are getting out of that. You know, the emotional aspect was that Trump is racism and we can't vote for him because of that. Now you're going to have a lot of people in the hood that are saying, like, fuck Biden and we'll take anything but Biden, or outright, you know, we love Trump. And there's still a good chance. There's still a very good chance that whatever magic was utilized to get somebody who's as unpopular as Joe Biden to be able to garner the most votes in the history of voting in this country, whatever magic was used then could be used again. I mean, like, if he had 84 million votes, it could be 92 million this time. And I have this like little open theory with my son as to why I would like for that to happen. I wouldn't be opposed to that happening, because I really want people to start questioning everything, in addition to the fact of how was this man that's so unpopular be able to get a commitment for people to leave their house and go to a polling agency at a time where people have become so dejected and not inspired to leave their house under the best of circumstances. How will we get them to bump this ultra popular Joe Biden up another notch come 2024? Eggs, bread, milk, and gas made everyone change their mind about Donald Trump. True indeed. Like I said, I mean, I'm a smart shopper. I'm a vigilant shopper. I'll never go to the store just to go to just because I need food. Like, every time I go to the store, I mean, I'm also a little bit of I'm not gonna say a prepper, but I do keep many years worth of food, and I'll always buy extra for the stash or just to have. Anyhow, and I mean, I could show you guys too. I would like to do a little tour of like all my food items that I keep stocked. But before, I would always buy $30 worth of extra stuff, and it'd be like 2 bags extra stuff. Now I never get the $30 worth of extra stuff. Now I get basically like stuff that I need, and like if I would buy like 106, like normally I would waste my groceries like 180 to 240. And if it was 200, I'd buy like $40 worth of like canned goods, whatever. Now it's like I barely, the money that the 240 is basically like just enough until I come up with the other 240 to buy groceries again. It sucks. It really does suck. Everything's on back order too. I just bought a fridge. Took 2 months to get it. My dishwasher, I had to fucking buy it. Like nobody had it in stock, and everybody was saying that I would get it 2 seasons from now. The one, like I had to actually find it at a brick and mortar store here in New Jersey, but nobody's motivated to make anything right now. With the exception of real estate, there's nothing really popping in New Jersey, where people are making a lot of money. And even real estate, they're not making a lot of money like they were before. It's basically the construction of new real estate, but not buying and flipping old houses, existing houses. And I know why they're building real estate, because based on like what people have told me in that industry. Right now, it's the only way you can make money. The only way you can make money in real estate right now is to build buildings and to try to fit units that are either studios or 1 bedroom, because a lot of people aren't having families, and the rate of rent is fucking astronomical wherever you go. Orlando, Florida, there ain't shit happening in Orlando, Florida, with the exception of Disney. Fucking $2,000 rent. Get the fuck out of here. Ain't nothing going on. There's no beaches in Orlando, Florida. There's nothing Florida about Orlando, Florida. Orlando, Florida has Puerto Ricans and fucking Disney. That's it. That's their tourist attraction. That's their reason for you to live there. And even that, $2,000. Mind you, their biggest employer is the Disney Corporation. And so picture you working at Disney, fucking Magic Kingdom or some shit, and you know, on a Disney World salary, paying $2,000 a month rent. Let me pull up some other Trump clip, or another clip of a young man I saw on Twitter, or going through it under Trump. Should be a topic on its own. And this is Project Cash, stupid name. In addition to him doing one of the fucking worst car habits of the 2020s, riding in a hood, riding in your own car with the hoodie on. Can't stand that shit. Every time my nephew comes into the car like that, I tell him to take that shit off. I don't want to get pulled over. All right.
Bro, this nigga Joe Biden, that's his name, right? Joe Biden? That nigga ain't do a motherfucking thing, bro. Like, that's the first, I was born in 2002. That's the first president that I had. And I realized life started changing for a nigga, bro. When I had Trump, I was in 9th grade when that nigga got elected. Nigga, I was chilling. COVID happened, nigga, I'm making 7 something a week off UE. Shit, busting. I'm talking about, nigga, I'm hood rich. What the fuck? How the fuck? What are they gonna say? Nigga, I'm hood rich. I'm getting bread. Nigga, 700 a week? Nigga, niggas gonna tell me shit. Nigga, I was 17 years old getting 700 a week doing nothing? Doing nothing? Nigga, you couldn't tell me shit. Nigga, I was going in stores, buying shit for other niggas that shit wasn't even for me.
So yet another example of I think a lot of people will write it off as that person. He's probably part of the young Republicans. This is an account on Twitter. Twitter is one of the only places where you get a little bit of a regular conversation going, where you won't get censored as much. You still get censored on Twitter. Conversations aren't 100% natural, if you will, when you're fighting against the algorithm. But nevertheless, Twitter has some of the realer conversations happening right now at this current juncture as it relates to the internet. Twitter is sort of where it's happening. And this is one of the people I actually like from Twitter. His name is Don Lucre. I believe it's how you pronounce it. Let Let me put his little clip up. Oh, here it is.
Trump or Biden?
Easy choice, Biden. Inflation rate at an all-time low, unemployment at an all-time low, stock market's all-time high, First Step Job Act. He freed Kodak Black, freed A$AP Rocky, freed Lil Wayne, freed Snoop Dogg homeboy, not to mention, and got a mugshot himself. But I think I meant to say Trump. I meant to say Trump. I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to say Biden. I meant to I'm voting for Trump, not Biden.
Trump or Biden?
That's Don Lucre, breaker of the narratives. And real quick, before I even, and I just want to do another testimony regarding the popularity of Biden. Mind you, again, you're talking about the most popular president in the history of any election as per number of votes received. Biden got that. But now I want you to take you to Biden's YouTube channel. Which I got pulled up right here. And I want to compare it to the Trump video, the second one I just showed you from Newsmax, which was posted 5 hours ago. That video with the Bronx Trump supporters was posted on Newsmax, and it's since received, as far as views go, 8.6 thousand views in 5 hours. Now I'm gonna go to his owner, Biden's YouTube channel. He actually has a YouTube channel. Go to his first video here, and this was posted a month ago. In 1 month, mind you,
earlier this year, I boarded Air Force One.
In a span of a month, mind you, this is the biggest vote receiver in the history of voting in this country. And as you guys could see, the sub count 793. Some of that may be bots or some shit. But trying to go to the views. Where the hell are they? Damn. Okay. 100,015 views in a month. We could play this.
Earlier this year, I boarded Air Force One for a secret flight to Poland. There I boarded a train with blacked out windows for a 10-hour ride each way to Kyiv.
This is one of the reasons as to why Biden is so unlikable. Biden always makes stories about him. Now, they won't tell you that in the media. Like, even though Biden does that constant, they would rather just have you forget that Biden spoke, or try to hide Biden in the cut, if you will. But Biden is a big-time credit.
Stand with the people of Ukraine ahead of the one-year
anniversary. Driving a train 10 hours into Ukraine in the war zone, a bunch of bullshit. I think people are tired of Ukrainians, particularly when it supposedly is making the cost of everyday goods like gas and regular produce go up. So I think people are tapped out as far as Ukrainians go. People are tapped out as far as Biden goes. That's evident. And people are definitely surging into the direction of 45/47/Mr. T. But let me know what you guys think. Again, I'm going to try to come on here before the year is through. Just been feeling dejected and just starting to feel better now. But I hope you guys have a wonderful set of holidays, Christmas, New Year's. That's you guys still celebrate it. I don't. I do celebrate Christmas, but I do know that it's a pagan holiday and whatnot. And I'm not like the Christian and whatnot, but I like to have a Christmas tree. I like to see people's lights on and shit. I think I got the flyest light set up in my house too, as far as like on my street goes. Ours looks like classic. It's not none of those stupid balloon shits. What else? But no, seriously though, I'm glad to be back and talking the end of the world with you guys. I wish I could have popped in a lot more, like during the times that I did feel dejected, but because so much happened at that time too. I mean, the war in Israel, the fucking guy getting nailed in Senate the other day. There's a ton of things. I mean, like I'm forgetting like 1,000 things that happened. And being that you don't have a lot of channels that like to look out the window to look at what Biden is doing wrong. Like, I mean, I could have had a lot of softballs thrown in my direction of bad Biden material that I could have been discussing here on YouTube, but I guess 2023 is not done, and 2024 is going to have a lot more opportunities for us to have these conversations here in the Foul Playland. Nevertheless, I want to thank you guys for coming through, and with that, I'm out. Peace.